Nation, JD WildFlower here from HolisticSuccessInstitute.com, where we teach you how to kick burnout to the curb and reclaim your well-being. So I'm here today to chat with you about why life balance band-aids like nannies, maids, and vacations don't work if you are basing your self-worth on your accomplishments. Okay, so here's the deal. We all have been told you need to have life balance, right? Everyone's been told that. Everyone knows that. But like hearing it and like understanding how to implement those are like two completely separate sides of a coin. Okay, so let's see here. So to begin with, you know, when you are frazzled, when you are having burnout symptoms, basically what it looks like is it's harder for you to recuperate after stress. That's one of the telltale signs of burnout. It's like, you know, maybe at one point you were able to kind of push through a really super busy week, and then you would like sleep in for a day or two on the weekend, and then the next week you'd be right back at it and you were fine, right? And that is like something that you can do when you're not in burnout. But when you're in burnout, or you're having burnout experiences, or you're somewhere along that burnout spectrum, it doesn't work anymore. It's like you can have those really busy weeks, you can sleep in, but it doesn't quite nourish your soul as much. It doesn't quite give you as much of your well-being back after you've pushed. And you know, sometimes people in burnout also experience what's called adrenal fatigue, which means that their adrenal system just gets all wonky because of basically how your adrenaline has been running. If you run so much on adrenaline, you can only do that for so many years. So it's, you know, a really important thing to be mindful of how you're using your adrenaline as well. So when it comes to, you know, these burnout band-aids or life balance band-aids, what are they and why don't they work? So burnout band-aids and life balance band-aids are things like when you're really busy and you decide, you know, okay, well, I'm gonna like try to cut down on my responsibilities, so let's hire a maid service or some nannies, or babysitters, or you know, you can replace that with a million other things, where basically you're outsourcing what you're doing, so you're delegating. And so in theory, like, that should work, right? But the thing is that if you are a high achiever, that is not necessarily going to work, because you're going to be filling up your time with other things, right? I mean, it's just kind of what happens when you are someone who, when you have an experience in your life where you are having some kind of burnout situation going on, then you know, it can feel, your body can basically become addicted to it, because your adrenal system becomes so used to being on, like all the time, like just on, right? And this is what happened to me before my burnout that I experienced in 2012, which is why I created my whole institute, Holistic Success Institute, and the program is within it. I originally created them to help me get out of burnout, and my clients started asking, you know, to have help with that aspect as well. And so I started creating, you know, the programs for everyone to be able to use. But, you know, one of those things about the adrenal system is that it can become addicted to being on. And so if you are doing the life balance band-aids and you hire a maid to help with something, well, what are you going to fill your time with? You know, most of the time you're going to fill that with something else. You're going to go, oh, okay, I have here's these like 5 other projects that I need to do, so I'm just going to do that right now, right? And what happens, and why I call it a life balance band-aid, is because it only works like temporarily, because then when you get used to like having that maid service, happening, you get used to filling up that time with something else. And most of the time it's not with things that are like super necessarily for your well-being, but rather there are things that let you accomplish or achieve things. And now what does this have to do with burnout? What does the accomplishment and achievement have to do with burnout? Well, the thing is that most people that experience burnout, like true burnout, are people who are highly dedicated to their careers. They're highly passionate individuals. And, it just becomes something where your career and your achievements and your accomplishments become so much of a part of who you are that, eventually your self-worth begins to be based upon those achievements. And when that happens, it can really feel like unless you are constantly achieving, unless you're constantly accomplishing, unless you're constantly holding the bar up higher for yourself every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, that you're a failure, that you suck, that you're just like, that unless you keep doing better and better and better and better all the time, that you're worth nothing, that you're worthless. And I see this with some of my clients who are high profile celebrities, where everybody else will think, look at them from the outside and think, hey, everything's great with them. But, sometimes, it's not necessarily always the case. Just because you have success on the outside, because you have external success, it doesn't mean that you feel successful on the inside. And this is one of, I think, the hardest parts for high achievers, especially those who have high profile careers. When you have a high profile career, in any way, you're supposed to keep up appearances. You're not supposed to let people know that you're burnt out. You're not supposed to let people know that the stress that you've been having is like way more than you can like really practically handle. It's about keeping up appearances, and to an extent you may or may not need to do that in your life depending on what your career is. But I will tell you, regardless of whether or not you're public about, what kind of burnout you're experiencing, you can still take steps to cure the burnout and to get beyond it so that it doesn't control your life anymore, so that really it's, you're getting your life back from burnout. So, quick example of basing one's self-worth on, your accomplishments. So when I was 14, I was pulled into the music director's office at my high school, and I was told that none of the guys wanted me in their bands because, quote unquote, girls can't rock, right? Okay, so what I did in that moment was I set out to prove them wrong, okay? And I had been a high achiever before that point, but man, after that point, I was like on fire. I was like, okay, no, I am not putting up with this. And I pushed and pushed and pushed. I started college when I was 15. I opened my first business when I was 18. I became a college marketing professor at age 25. And I had so much of my own self-esteem and my self-worth that was wrapped up in my accomplishments that it was damaging my well-being. And I didn't even know it. I didn't know it until 2012. When I went through my own burnout, and I had to take a big step back and really just dissect all of this stuff, because I found and you know how I know this? Because I was doing the Burnout Band-aids, okay? I was doing the Life Balance Band-aids. I was doing the nannies thing. I was doing the housekeepers thing. And you know what? I was filling up that time with all kinds of other stuff. So that's how I know this. Actually, it's not because I'm just standing here saying, that I want to be an expert in something. It's because I lived it. And, I really did learn, with really just breaking it down to the most basic components of things, that, the biggest issue that I find that high achievers with burnout face is that you're basing too much of your self-worth and self-esteem on your accomplishments and not enough on your intrinsic value. So there you have it. That is why the burnout Band-aids don't work. And that's why what you really require in order to either prevent burnout from happening or to recuperate from it is just a comprehensive plan and a program and a framework to help you stay on track with it. Because, just as you know, this whole have life balance stuff, right? I mean, everybody knows that. It's not a matter of knowing some of this stuff. It's a matter of doing it and applying it in ways that are consistent and that help you to create consistent results in your life that help you kick burnout to the curb and reclaim your well-being. So there are a couple of different options for how my organization helps individuals with burnout. And the first option is you can check out my online Holistic Success Masterclass. And it is an on-demand masterclass. It's about 45 minutes long. And it goes into detail about what the difference is between toxic success and holistic success, and how toxic success actually is the thing that leads to burnout, as well as, helps you take a look at some action steps that you can take now to really help yourself recuperate from burnout. And I also have a 4-week online mastermind program called Burnout Bootcamp. And in Burnout Bootcamp, what we do, it's all done online, so you can participate anywhere you are in the world. And we have a small select group of individuals each month that enrolls each month to our program. And for that 4 weeks, helping you with burnout is our mission. And that is why we get results. We get results because we make it a mission. It's not just, once so often every kind of thing or once a month kind of thing, which that's not really going to help, tackle the issues, in the way that they need to be tackled in order to really get you, cleared from burnout so that you're not experiencing it anymore. That's why we call it a boot camp. It's a 4-week online boot camp. So for more information about how the boot camp works, what we have is we have a free burnout strategy session that we provide to people who are interested in seeing if one of our programs are a fit for them. So if you're interested in seeing if our 4-week burnout bootcamp program is a fit for you, or one of our private coaching programs as well, you can book a call at holisticsuccessinstitute.com/book. And during the call, we'll help you go from point A to point B and map out a burnout recuperation plan that's just for you, that's customized just for you. And if the coach that you're speaking with, it might even be me, depending on my schedule, it feels like you'd be a good fit for one of our programs, then they'll show you the different options that we have available, including the mastermind program, as well as some private coaching one-on-one programs and VIP programs as well. So you can find all of that info at holisticsuccessinstitute.com. So as always, cheers to having love, health, wealth, and the time to enjoy it. Till next time.